Hey there, Reuben here for E-Instruments, introducing Slower for Contact Player, a contemplative library drawing inspiration from the unique sonic textures of half-speed tape. Tailored for producers, artists and media composers, Slower is a one-of-a-kind instrument that takes 65 professionally recorded sound sources and manipulates the audio via 4 real-world tape machines. Every sound has been played back and recaptured at half speed, exaggerating the analog artifacts, wobble and noise produced by this physical process. And most importantly, the sounds are pitched down an octave via tape, developing tangible tones unique to each tape machine, with deep and characterful warmth across a wide range of timbres. Slower combines this external processing with an onboard suite of transformative macro and modulation effects that are easy to assign and edit, further mutating the sounds. This is not a plug-in tape emulation, it's the real thing. This makes the sounds of Slower perfect for producers who write ambient, lo-fi, hip-hop and indie music. These production-ready instruments are also ideal for media composers seeking authentic analog pads, strings, keys and more. Take a listen to a small selection of the 230 presets, covering different instruments, tape processing and sound shaping effects. Let's dive in. This is the main interface for Slower, clean and streamlined with useful options up front, including access to the preset browser, the 4 tape signals, and 3 transformative macros. Just here is where you'll find options to dive deeper, manipulating sound sources, modulation, FX chain, and settings. More on all of those options in a short while. Let's hear the 4 different tape signals, and a reminder that these half-speed tape profiles are independent sample sets that have all been recorded in the real world with carefully calibrated tape units. Each sound source is available across all 4 tape machines. Studio. The subtle warmth and fidelity of the large open reel-to-reel machines, Studer A812 and Revox PR99. Portable, the wavering delicacy of the small reel-to-reel UA 4400 report IC and UA 4400 report monitor. Cassette, the familiar bedroom producer timbre of a Tascam Portastudio 424 Mark III standard cassette. Dictaphone, the lo-fi crunch of a microcassette, Sony M650V dictaphone. Exploring these different signals gives a wide variety of flavours, helping you find the perfect sound for your productions. Clicking here takes you to the 3 macro sliders. Independent FX combinations that can be dialed in via the interface or with NKS hardware. They have different feature sets per preset and can be fully customized, edited, and even renamed. In the case of alto flute, the first macro dials in a low reversed layer, the second an airy frequency boost, and the third a hall space. I'll look at how to assign and name your own macros in a bit. This is the main preset browser. Slower comes with 230 main presets, each expertly designed to evoke a certain mood or character. A main preset consists of a sound source, the selected tape machine, macro and modulation assignments, and an FX chain. Organised with a useful tagging system, you can select from the different instrument types, presets that use a specific tape signal, mood, and character. Select more than one tag to narrow your search even further. For example, a reversed sound with a dusty dictaphone vibe. Some lush, wet strings. Filtered horns, an aggressive hybrid sound. Electric piano or noisy cassette for a Portishead style vibe. Or something from the rarities category, recorded via a portable open reel tape machine. Don't forget, you can easily change any preset's tape model and tweak the macros from the main page at any time. It's also possible to keep the modulation, FX and macro settings of a preset and apply them to different instruments. Just open the sound page and use the instrument browser to select new sample sets. This is a great way to audition fresh sounds quickly from lots of themed groups. Including a special processed category, which have baked-in outboard processing pre the tape re-recording. Let's explore slower more deeply, Continuing on the sound page, you'll already be familiar with some of the options here, including volume, panning, and tuning. The tightness control pushes playback into the sample, in this case shaving off the glockenspiel transient. This reverse control mixes in a reversed version of the sample set, and in this preset the control is already assigned to a macro, just here. You can also change the tuning of this reversed playback. Hold Shift and drag on any dial for more granular control. The amp envelope of a sound can be manipulated to tweak the attack, decay, sustain, and release times. How about turning this glockenspiel into a pad? By increasing the attack time. A quick reminder that all of these playback parameters are applied globally to the current sound set, in this case a glockenspiel, which can be swapped out via the instrument browser. This browser gives you access to 65 instruments and articulations across a wide range of timbres. Authentic tape noise floor can be dialed in here, with optional low and high pass filters to shape the sound. The noise is different for each tape model. Wobble produces additional wow and flutter of tape machines. Increase this here. And in this case, the parameter is already assigned to the mod wheel. This is a great opportunity to show the basics of how the modulation routing works in slower. There are lots of chances to introduce sound design modulations and automations to your patches, as almost any parameter can be assigned a macro, LFO, modulation envelope, step sequencer or velocity, mod wheel, aftertouch, or key track control. It's as simple as clicking on the three little dots above a parameter and choosing a modulation source. Set the parameter knob to a default value and the slider on the left to modulation range, upper half positive, lower half negative from the knob value. The range of modulation will be displayed in orange, with an animated orange dot to show the modulation movement as a note plays. Here's a basic change, assigning the worn macro to both noise and wobble. We can even click to change the macro name to something more suitable, and save our new creation as a snapshot. Now, when we increase this macro slider, you'll get additional noise and flutter. Let's look at modulation and also the macros in a bit more detail, using the modulation and effects panels. Sources of modulation can be either of the two LFO shapes, just here, envelope shape here, or step sequencer, just here. You can change LFO shapes by clicking, adjust the rate to either hertz or tempo sync, and choose a fade-in time, where the values will increase over a set period. In the case of this preset, LFO 1 is the source for one of the effects, in this case gain, and you can see the assignment here, and the default value and range of the modulation here. This FX chain is super flexible, as you can drag to reorder the effects, turn them on and off, and click the little magnifier to access a wide range of different FX processors. And of course, most of their parameters can be modulated or assigned to macros. Check out the delay and space macros, already assigned to tape delay mix, and ethereal reverb wetness. Let's swap out the second gain effect for a bandpass filter and switch that to modulate from LFO 1, giving the rhythm a different feel. Just for fun, let's try the step sequencer for the bandpass. Back to the mod page and into steps. Let's draw some modulation. There are options to shift the pattern, reverse it, mirror from the center, invert the values, or create a random pattern. With options for rate, swing, and retrigger/playback, you can match the speed and style of the steps to your project. This is just a taste of the myriad of modulation routings possible within Slower, all very easy to set up and view exactly what's happening to your sound. Because a single modulation or macro source can drive multiple parameters, it's possible to create some really complex routing, demonstrated by some of the presets. Similar to before, this guitar preset has gain controlled by the step sequencer, and LFO2 tied to the rate parameter of the sequencer itself, making for some interesting evolving gating. This string preset ties 3 different phaser effects to a single macro. And this crunchy brass preset goes all out, with LFO1 modulating bandpass parameters and the different macros tied to multiple distortion, bit crush, vibrato and reverb settings. Lastly, a quick look at the settings panel. Set a pitch bend range here. Drag to change the velocity curve to suit different playing styles. By default, an extended and unified key range stretches samples beyond their natural playback, which can uncover some very cool artifacts and behaviours. For example, playing these viola samples much lower than their natural range emphasises the scratchy rosin and worn-out dictaphone tape. Alternatively, check the original option to limit playback to the real-world tonal range. Do remember a unique aspect of Slower. Although the original option limits the tonal range, all material has been recorded to half-speed tape, so all Slower sounds play an octave lower than normal. If you're looking for evocative new cinematic soundscapes, want to get crunchy with lo-fi beat making, or need experimental organic instruments for indie hits, Slower has the inspirational depth and breadth of sounds like no other library. Plus, they're production ready to drop into your next track. For more information, audio demos and full specifications, check out einstruments.com. And thanks for watching.